to the captain's quarters.
All right.
Hot nipples.
So, what? Did you say hot nipples?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fuck, I didn't mute my mic. No! Restart it.
Setting a bad example.
Shit. Shit, I was going to say something. Yes. Anyways,
Waiting for
Kaylin,
the intro.
I don't know how your audio level meter is like. Yours is like 3 times larger than the next one. I don't know how you're doing.
Yours is the big one for me.
Maybe.
Yeah.
The other
Maybe
ones
you
are
should tell
super
me.
tiny.
Yeah, mine's pretty quiet.
So is mine.
I don't. Again, I can always adjust this in post. Welcome to the Captain's Log, everyone. By the way, our rambling for an entire 60 seconds.
Yeah.
We are here with the Cattle Pleasure.
Hello.
We are here with the Ancient of Days,
Hello.
and we're here with a Crash Carl.
Welcome.
Singular.
Oh wow. Yeah. Just one. Just. There's only the one. There's several cattle pleasures out there in the world.
I know there are.
I'm looking at you, Welsh. No, I'm
I
kidding.
hope not.
That's sheep.
Oh,
We're,
you know,
definitely
we're
shit.
proud people.
I mean, you and I are both predominantly English. Those are our people, Kaylin.
Are you saying that you have sex with sheep?
I mean, no.
Okay.
That's just my ex-wife. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
Implication. Right.
Yeah.
So this is podcast 0. We're gonna kind of Mr. Magoo our way through this entire thing. This is also gonna help ourselves listen to audio levels, make sure there's no background noise. I can already tell I'm gonna have to yell at some people about mouse clicks, but at the same time, it's not necessarily their fault because I don't. This just doesn't have noise gate. So we'll look at some audio software though. It'll be fine.
Yep.
Cattle pleasure. What have you been doing this week?
Well, it's been mostly business as usual. I mean, considered being essential worker and whatnot. I still have to go to work and all that. And yeah, it's pretty much standard business. Person across the hall from me.
Yeah, I was about to say, how terrifying is it that you have somebody that you actively work with
Yeah,
get tested positive?
So I think like Thursday, I was helping her move some boxes out of her old office into her new office. So it was like really close contact during that. And then like maybe that was Wednesday, I can't remember exactly. And then Friday, my boss told me that, well, just so you know, I'm required to tell you guys that someone in this hallway tested positive for COVID-19. I don't want you to freak out or anything, and we're taking the appropriate precautions and all that good stuff. And then he kept nodding his head towards the door across the hall from me.
Is your boss William Taft?
Yes, the
I do
35th
declare.
president.
I do declare somebody in this hallway tested positive for COVID-19.
They have the plague.
Ryan, what you were going to say something. What were you going to say?
Wait, you're still working?
Yeah.
They didn't shut the place down?
Nope. It's kind of looking that way though, but nothing official yet.
Oh.
Well,
that's
you
scary.
know he's going to have to stop by the stream when he comes home when his work shuts down.
Yeah. I kind of feel left out of all the fun, but then again, it's also I don't want to be part of that 6 million people that filed for unemployment last week.
Why not?
Yeah,
so-
that's fair.
It's nice still having a paycheck, but I feel like a
but
little
then
left
you get
out
a
of all
paycheck
the.
from the government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You call yourself a Sanders supporter and you're not even going to take welfare, Caleb?
Yeah.
Only when you require welfare.
Joe Biden 2020.
You might get there soon, bro.
Yeah.
Might be.
Ancient of Days. What did you do this last week?
Well, I mean, it's been pretty boring. I have more time than I ever thought I would, and I don't know what to do with it. Can't go anywhere, can't do anything. It's just really a bunch of schoolwork. Got all my classes online, taking things like anatomy. It's really hard because before it's like I'm interacting with these body parts, but now I can't.
So you're telling me they don't send you body parts to study in the mail? Like
They
on
send us the
online anatomy?
pictures of them, but sadly they don't send the parts to us.
See, that's just a disservice to the medical industry.
And then I'm taking a class online at Harvard. So I've just been doing schoolwork.
Oh, wow.
I wake up at like
what class?
Is it the happiness one?
no, it's a class that hopefully. I think I told you I work in a DNA sequencing lab. Don't work there now because Corona. But I'm getting certified in something called CRISPR-Cas9 genetic editing.
That's
And
quite controversial.
It
Being
is.
able to gene editing in your garage.
Oh, I'm all for it though.
Yeah,
Let's
it
go
gets
for
into
it.
dangerous ethical territories, though.
Did
Let's
some
do it.
Chinese guy get charged with crimes against humanity because he
Yeah.
did that to like a human?
He did it to two developing children that are already born.
Yeah.
For mental capacity and the ability to learn, I think it was, and it was successful. So these kids are probably going to be smarter than your average man. And of course, everyone came down on him for that.
Yeah, I mean,
Well-
you can't just like test on children.
Are they smarter than the average man?
I think that they have tested to have greater mental acuity than children their same age.
I'm just
So
imagining
they're
they don't
superheroes.
walk; they just like float around with like a giant brain,
like from Akira or
hovering.
something.
Yeah,
They got
No,
the wrinkly.
do you know fucking you know what MODOK is?
Say that one more time.
MODOK.
Oh yeah, the Marvel guy or whatever.
Yeah, the Marvel villain.
It sounds like a species in Star Trek.
He's like a
MODOK?
So these kids, this is a real life, like possible superhero backstory.
yeah. I mean, well, the important thing about this CRISPR-Cas9 editing is so. I mean, I don't know if y'all know much about DNA, but it's made up of a bunch of base pairs that code for proteins and other things in your body that tells your body what to make, how to do it, what to look like. And with this system, you could be stupid accurate when it comes to editing things.
Well, yeah, it's like plastic surgery, but for like your DNA.
Oh, it's
profile,
almost like
right?
coding, is what I'd say, where you can individually
Oh, that's
change.
weird. I don't like that. That makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, plastic surgery is more kind of broad, kind of like on macro scale, but this is like
That's fair.
it's like coding a computer. I mean, it's not to the.
So you're telling me you can't give my DNA fake tits?
I mean, we possibly could give it a few years,
Oh,
Oh shit! What up?
but I mean,
So
at the
is
moment,
this going to result in like anime type people that can put all the iron in their blood out and make a sword with it? Is what we need to know.
I mean, maybe not yet, but you can certainly help when it comes to cancer and stuff.
Well, if you want the millions of Twitch dollars that I have in funding, then you're going to have to show me some pretty cool shit.
Yeah, well, this is pretty cool.
Like I'm talking like are like cat girls. Are they on the table?
Elon Musk was talking about that, really. So
that girl?
yeah, he's brought it up. So I mean, Tommy, if you can hold out for another 20 or 30 years, you might make it to utopia.
Oh, how sad of a 55-year-old I'll be if I'm still pining for cat.
Well,
girls.
here's the thing. At 55, if we have the tech to make cat girls, we have the tech to revitalize you back to your 20s.
Oh.
So this is just going to turn into like weird anime. What's that show called on Netflix?
Naruto.
Side a bit.
What? To both of you. Kaylin didn't even speak English, and it definitely wasn't Naruto.
Bow.
Describe it a bit.
You don't die. Your soul is put on a disc, which you can put into different bodies.
Not
It's
familiar with
based
it.
off a sci-fi book, and it's right on the tip. I'm literally looking on Netflix for this,
Is it
but
The Matrix?
no,
Starring
it's
Keanu
really
Reeves.
good though. God damn it!
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's really good. Maybe starts with a C.
Altered Carbon.
Yeah,
Altered
that's it.
Carbon, yes, Altered Carbon. Season 1 was really good. Apparently season 2 is not as good.
Dude,
Controversial
I mean-
statement, maybe.
I mean, Elon's working on the integrated chip into your mind. I mean, I'm telling you, if they give me the cyber body, I
Do
will
you
take the
know
cyber body.
How fucked the world is if like Jeff Bezos could achieve immortality.
We got to bring him down.
I mean, I'm just saying, like nothing in particular against Mr. Bezos, but the idea of trillionaires billionaire trillionaires in the future being able to achieve immortality before any of us can, just because of the mass amount of wealth that they can acquire these things. is kind of terrifying.
That's how you get to Blade Runner.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like think of like the most boring dystopian thing of every sci-fi movie, and then combine them, and that's probably what we're going to be in like 100 years.
Or it'll be awesome.
Have you guys seen like representations of how rich Bezos is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
Trying to put it into something that we can comprehend, but it's typically a human could only really comprehend between like 0 and 200. You have a rough idea of what 100 is if you just look at it, rough idea of what maybe 200 is, but beyond that it turns into that's a million degrees there. And but like, what is it, like 112 billion now? That's probably dated number.
I think I saw that he makes like $6,700 a minute or an hour. Excuse me.
It's just an insane amount of money to where you can spend a ludicrous amount of money. If you want 12 Lamborghinis, if you want a Lamborghini to do a daily commute to work, and then you throw it away, doing that for an entire year would only be 0.1% of your.
It would be like it's nearly impossible to be able to spend the amount of money that you're.
You can't, and I can't remember what millionaire said it. It might be, what's his name, John Cuban, whatever.
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban. Yeah, I can't remember the exact quote or if it even is his quote, but becoming a millionaire takes time and effort, but becoming a multimillionaire, it just takes time. To where
it snowballs eventually.
Yeah, once you get $1 million, you could live off of that 2% interest or whatever minimum. You could easily be gaining money, and then
not even just that, but they oh shit, what was it? They were they say the average millionaire has 15 sources of income.
I don't know what's considered a source of income, but I'm sure
interest to do. I mean,
now what do you mean by millionaire? Like multi-millionaire, or just like people that?
Not just a multi-millionaire has on average 15 sources of income.
I have to go count mine.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All right. We got a little off track. Mr. Crash Carl, how was your week?
Well, was Davis done with his week?
That's really it. Schoolwork, helping the family. Feels like I dropped out of school, even though I didn't.
Hell yeah, brother.
And that's about it. Really. That's really it.
All right. Well, I mean, I am also in the same boat to where I'm doing classes online, but that's not really that important. Basically, the past 2 weeks, I've been playing the shit out of World of Warcraft nonstop. It's pretty much consumed my life. But in that, I usually when I play games like that, I get a lot of free time to do background stuff because you don't have to pay a lot of attention to the game. Mm-hmm. So I have been listening to a lot of music, and there's one band in particular that I've been listening to recently, and I'd like to do a quick review of their first album, the Insane Clown Posse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've been watching all those videos, and so I've never really listened to the Insane Clown Posse. And so I've been like, oh man, I wonder what's the deal with all their albums? Why do they have such a following?
You come out of the Juggalo, I'm going to be so happy, right?
I've only listened to the first album. This is I plan to listen to them all, but I only listened to the first one. This one was called Carnival of Carnage. Did you know that the Insane Clown Posse, before they were Insane Clown Posse, they were the Inner City Posse. So they were not. Oh. They were not. Yeah, they were clown. They had clown undertones, but they weren't fully into the clown. And I gotta say, I hated the album. It was terrible. Yeah, I don't know why they got so much hype. It was sort of like you ever listen to like a shitty SoundCloud project?
Absolutely.
Imagine that, but down like 6 notches.
Where it's just like generic production over like bad sounding lyrics.
Yeah, and they would, they talked a lot about gangbanging and shooting bitches and I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, that album probably came out like 92.
Exactly, 92. Yes.
So let's be honest, there wasn't a lot of great music being made necessarily.
Well, no, I mean, at the time you had gangster rap was just starting to get really big. Like I think the NWA had put out their album.
Yeah, and then obviously you're gonna have like the white trash version of that, and that's where the inner city posse comes from.
Sure, yeah, the inner city posse.
It didn't. So I'm not too much of a ICP connoisseur, but I
None of
didn't
us
realize. Well, I don't know about Tommy. I don't want to speak for him.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't realize
brother.
that they're that old. If their first album came out in '92, they were probably like what 18.
I'm gonna fact check that.
Yes. No, it's
They're
92. I'm
old.
pretty sure. Well, yeah, dude. Fucking who's the dude with the furry daughter? Tommy, which one is it?
There's Murder Mike, and then there's Killer J.
One of
That's the
them has
guy
a-
who's not a connoisseur.
There's
Just because I've seen them live
Yeah.
doesn't mean I'm a huge juggalo.
It's all coming out now.
no.
Just because I have their contact information in my phone.
Yeah, there's the guy. He's got like an older daughter who's like a full on furry. And,
Violent J and Shaggy too dope. Excuse me.
Oh,
yeah, it's violent.
thank you for clearing that up.
Well, because the other two are actual rappers who are nothing like ICP, and I do not want to piss off people.
Yeah, and just in case there's any potential juggalos listening.
Yeah, I gotta get that market.
Sure, you don't want to upset them. But yeah, I listened. I shouldn't say I hated it. I didn't like it. I can't really see myself going back and listening to that again. Maybe if I go through the entire discography. How do you say discography? And I'm like, wow, I'm a juggalo now. I'll go back and listen to that first one again.
Right.
Yeah, but stay tuned. I'm gonna listen to another one sometime. I believe the next one is when they officially turn from the inner city posse to the insane clown posse with Ringmaster. I believe is the name of the next album.
I just want to put it out there. It is Crash Carl and I's goal to make it to a Juggalo gathering
of the Juggalos.
Absolutely, the Gathering of the Juggalos. It's up in Michigan.
Hopefully
Ohio. It's canceled. Was it Ohio?
It's
one of the whatever. It's Midwest.
Yes.
I'm hyped. I need it. We will be recording it, and
I would love to go to one of those. Like unironically, I bet it would be so much fun just drinking a bunch of Faygo and getting blackout drunk and being offered methamphetamine several times and being like, maybe a few more Faygos. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a time to do methamphetamines, I gotta say it'd be at a Juggalo rally.
Yeah, Gathering of the Juggalos.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was my my music experience.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been listening to a lot of other music too. It's not just ICP. That's not important though. But anyways, I watched and finished The Witcher 2.
Wow.
That was that was cool. I know you said you watched that, Tommy, right?
Oh, you said The Witcher 2. Do you mean the game, or did you
No,
watch
I
the
finished
show
The
Witcher?
Witcher 2.
Oh yes, it is brilliant. It is really well done.
Yeah. Have you guys seen The Witcher, Caitlin or Davis?
I have
watched
not. I've only watched half the first episode.
All right.
It really only seemed like manly grunting.
This is grunting.
You're not into
It's good.
that?
Well, it's a different side of me.
That's a different podcast.
Yeah, different. So I really liked it. My only gripe was I didn't think we get enough monster killing,
I agree.
and I'm sure that it's just like it was their first season, so they were probably just testing the waters. But from what I understand, it did really well, and they were supposed to be working on the second season right now, but I think it got
Yeah, they
halted.
delayed it. Yeah, they delayed it. They
Because of
were.
the
I think they were like a month into filming, or something like that.
Oh, were they?
Wow,
Yeah.
just imagine what 2021 is going to be like with everything being delayed. Like, there's going to be a whole lot of like capital projects delayed. There's going to be a whole lot of infrastructure delays. There's going to be a whole lot of such.
Oh, think about
creative things.
every business that has to halt with. Like, think about every single movie, production company or whatever. Think of the directors or whoever has to take out this loan to make this movie happen. And you're like, don't worry, box office sales will recoup these losses. They'll recoup the advertising. Merch will come out. That's not happening right now. So it almost makes you wonder if, like, at what I don't know. That would just stress me the hell out right now.
Well, they're pushing a lot of stuff back towards the end of the year. So I wonder if there's just going to be a crazy amount of shit going on at the end of the year. Or, I mean,
I'd
if
be
this,
okay with
But
that.
what if it gets delayed again? Because I think
Well, yeah,
they're just
I'm thinking-
hoping.
exactly. I think everyone's just pushing at the end of the year and being like, yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think the reality is that it's probably, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't really see anything this year. Like, this just,
Yeah, this is what this year is going to be like, and that's
yeah.
upsetting.
I mean, it'll be crazy, like, honestly, if we are supposed to be quarantined until
Well,
2021.
Japan's done a really good job of it, and Japan is also according to Reddit, which take that with a grain of salt. Apparently, they're sweeping a lot of the stuff under the rug in Japan because they're really, really trying to make sure that Olympic bid stays.
Oh
with
yeah,
them.
100%.
Yep.
But knowing Japan and knowing how crazy their work ethic is and like strict they are, the amount of anime that's probably going to get produced in this time is going to be astronomical.
So I'm curious. So with this whole COVID-19 issue going on, we're going to be quarantined for X number of months, whatever, and then after that, it might continue on. But then the first big gatherings are going to start to happen. Let's say the Olympics happen, and there's going to be some sect of the world where this virus is going to be circulating a little bit and kind of dying out, but then coming back. It's going to live, right? And if that,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
and the
it's
only
kinda
way
the
we
way-
gain immunity is by having it or being exposed through a vaccine or whatever. Then we're going to have this big meeting, say, let's say the Olympics, and then someone's going to be infected and then spread that. It's going to have a resurgence, right? It's going to have aftershocks.
Oh yeah, I don't even think it'd be astronomically like improbable for it not to rebound. Because
Until
think
the
about it.
vaccine
First
is
off,
developed.
not even just talking about like the amount of people that are still throwing parties right now because everyone's dumb, but think about let's say you have to be a remote worker for a little while at your job. You immediately get back after quarantining. What's your boss going to want to do? Well, he's going to want to have a team meeting with everyone that he hasn't seen in a month and a half in person.
because we're
That's
family.
going to be happening everywhere. Not only that, but the end of quarantine parties that people that are dumb
Oh,
are
true,
going to do.
Cole. True.
So, and not only that, you're talking about there's this isn't supposed to be like an R atheism like cringe rant, but there are a small percentage of churches that refuse to shut down. It's not a majority, but it's a small percentage of churches that refuse to shut down, and they're just too busy. Like, just I don't know. To me, that just feels like it's a bunch of like boomer priests that don't understand technology.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, I don't need to learn Skype. I could just keep gathering everyone here because I haven't gotten it yet, and I'll just pray it away."
That's kind of how it's been at work, where they put together something. It's not great. None of these systems are perfect. We're figuring it out, as all companies are trying to figure out what to do. And a lot of people are just ignoring it and continuing on as normal. And it's just going to take this is our first real epidemic where we have to figure this stuff out. And I think there's going to be transition to more Skype-oriented things. I use Skype loosely. You know what I'm talking about.
Right.
That I think, I don't know, the world's just disconnected. I don't know.
There's zero reason for it not to like happen.
Well, this is
Like,
really this virus thing has really showed us just how incompetent and just dumb a lot of people are.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, if can you imagine if this virus killed more people if it had a higher mortality rate?
Yeah, could you imagine like to even just 20%?
And just with the way people have been treating it.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I feel like a lot of people are underplaying. Like, it's not like, oh, I've got corona. Okay, well, I'll just outlive this. You feel terrible. Like, it's hard to breathe. There's a lot of terrible symptoms that go along with corona. And I feel like that's not getting enough like play out there.
Yeah, I really don't think people are understanding the shortness of breath. Not being able to breathe is terrifying.
And not only that,
like a
that's
normal,
lasting damage on your lungs too. Like that's not normal wear and tear for your body, right? That's not like, oh, I smoked a cigarette. No, that could result in scar tissue. That could result in actual damage.
right? With a normal cold and whatnot, you feel awful. You have body aches, you're sniffling, you're coughing, but I don't having shortness of breath, not being able to hold your breath for 4 seconds, or how bad it is
That
for
sounds
you.
terrible.
That's scary. That gets you really worried about if you're going to make it, even if you are a 20-something-year-old, and chances are you're going to be totally fine after this.
Right.
That's scary.
But then the thing it's still gonna suck. Like, okay, now
Yeah.
granted, you could be asymptomatic, and congrats, like I guess, like but I don't know. I digress. But yeah, so yeah, COVID's gonna probably pop up every now and then, only because like on this podcast, just because it's a morbidly fascinating topic because it's kind of unprecedented, like in our generation.
Oh yeah, this is going in textbooks.
Absolutely.
First
Yes,
I'm
time
sir.
excited to tell my kids about it.
Oh yeah, you wanna yell at your kids about how good they have it without
Yeah.
Corona?
Yeah. Like,
Dude, this
when I
is-
was younger.
This is our boomer thing.
Yeah, exactly. We were stuck inside. You had to wipe your ass with fucking note cards.
I had to bring out the paper towel.
Or we were using leaves from outside.
Yeah, you have to get your own toilet paper from outside.
Now you go to the bathroom to your ass cleaning robot, and you sit there and think about how good you have it.
Spread those cheeks and you let that robot go to town in there.
Oh no!
We didn't have any robots.
And you thank your lucky
They
stars.
were our slaves.
We had to use poop rags back in my day.
Communal one.
Yeah.
Back in my day, we had one poop rag for the whole household, and we had to share it.
Yeah. When your Uncle Jimmy broke the poop knife, my God, I've never seen
What?
Father angrier.
Then our kids, their boomer moment is gonna be when they have kids and their son brings home a female robot, and you're like, God damn, those robots used to clean our assholes. Now my daughter wants to date one. Damn it!
Wait. The poop knife. Excuse me.
It's Adam and Eve, not Adam and Robot. God damn it!
Poop knife, Davis? Do you not know what the poop
Yeah,
knife
are you not familiar with the poop knife, Mr. Dave?
And my household hasn't broken down enough for that to come up.
Well, it's not really breaking down. I mean, the people who use it in normal society.
I mean, it's more enlightened than anything.
It's when you lay a giant log and you have to break it up. So you take
Yeah, it's just the poop. I mean, the name. It's not like a mystery what the name means.
Says it right on the tin.
I don't know. I thought it sounded like some kind of poisoned weapon or something.
Well, that too.
Yeah. It doubles as a Viet Cong booby trap. Actually,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Goodness.
But yes, so Corona and poop knives are going to be a common theme for the foreseeable future on the podcast.
I find pooping quite interesting.
All
That
right,
it's
now.
such a intimate moment that none of us, like, you're never taught how to poop, and what you're just, as you're growing up, there's the toilet, you poop in it, and then there's the paper, or not paper towels, toilet paper.
At this point, it's paper towels.
There's your poop rag.
There's the toilet paper. Like, you're never taught what the proper etiquette is.
Yeah.
Like, this is something you're just supposed to come up with on your own. And this is kind of like an isolated experiment. All of us have been trying to figure out how to poop effectively throughout our 20-something years on this planet. No one's really given us tips or anything. And
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not sure I figured it out. I still have the magic marker effect pretty much all the time.
yeah, for all I know, Tommy could do a headstand to clean his asshole in the shower in the sink, and he thinks that's totally normal.
The key is to take the toilet cleaner brush
Yeah.
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 Oh no!
I bet you someone out there actually
Now,
does use
Kay-
that.
Kaylin, I will say, I have a candidate for you. He's very progressive. He is making ass cleaning robots a number one priority. May I introduce you to my friends and my candidate, Joe Biden?
Ah,
Yeah, is that what Joe Biden's doing?
Joe Biden is running off a poop robot campaign, and honestly, I think it's the push he needs to beat Trump.
yeah, that's true. He really gets the toddler vote. I don't know what vote he would get from that.
If you're trying to sit here and imply that you wouldn't have something clean your ass for you right now as a grown man, then I don't think you're living right, Kalen.
Well, they have bidets.
But they scare me.
They don't scare me. I wish I had one.
I've seen a video of somebody, like I think it was Max Mofo, and they went to when he went to Japan. Literally, he clicked the button on the bidet, and it launched water across the entire room.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you really got to get up in there.
Yeah, you got to get that.
I used them in Thailand.
I don't think I needed fucking pressure gun underneath my ass.
No, you
Like,
don't.
that's
You don't
scary.
understand. You got to get that power.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If you're not, it's like a brownie. If you're able to stick your finger in it and it sticks to it, then you're not clean enough.
All right. Can we,
I don't.
Oh,
I'm ready to move on from the poop conversation.
oh,
I agree.
There's still a few more things I have to talk about.
Okay. All right.
So another thing I did, and I won't get into spoilers because I know a lot of people care about it a lot, is but I finished My Hero Academia. Watched
Need to finish that.
watched the season finale. I liked the season. I thought it was good. I will say I liked. You watched the first half, right, Tommy?
Yeah.
I much preferred the first half to the second half.
Okay.
Yeah. That first half was so fucking hype.
There's you haven't read the manga. There's a lot of very interesting things coming up.
Well,
So,
these might be the interesting things because you haven't seen the second half, so
yeah, it's fair.
it
That's
definitely goes into a way different direction.
fair. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I may.
Yeah.
I was also going to say to your Witcher comment about them not really fighting a lot of monsters.
Yes.
And that is the pilot season, so they probably didn't have the budget for that.
Yeah, SFX.
Well, I don't know because apparently Netflix threw a shit ton of money at them for this season. I think it was the most expensive show that they've ever done.
Really?
Yeah, I think I remember reading an article about that or something.
I mean, it shows that everyone there is passionate and loves the project. You can just, I mean, it's across the board. It's just tremendous.
Yeah, I will say though, Yennefer is one of my more enjoyed characters in the video games. I couldn't get behind her in the TV show. I wasn't a fan of her.
Yeah, it was weird. Her segments very much felt like a weird Disney Channel movie.
well, I
don't
think
know.
the problem is this is. I think in the games, Yennefer and Geralt are both in their 80s at that point, and this is a couple decades before that.
Well, have you played the games, Davis?
Yeah, I have.
I've never
So
played any
where
of them.
I know that the games are not nearly as faithful to the books as supposedly the show was trying to be. Does the first game? Where does that take place in the book universe?
It takes place. I don't want to give too much away.
Which
but
game?
There,
Which game?
the first
the very
one.
first. I'm just curious. Is it does it start up with it as soon as the first book starts?
No.
Yeah,
it
there's
takes place.
there's
after.
a scene. Oh, there's a scene in the show that has a direct cutscene to the first game.
Yeah, the first game.
First thing you see.
The first game picks up a little bit after the first books because the first books were a collection of short stories that explain. I mean, that's kind of what the first season is. It's part of that collection of short stories, and then the guy started to make it more structured.
Didn't the author of those books like when they approached him about making the video games, just yeah, I'll go ahead, and he took he just wanted he just took one lump sum of money and then that was it.
Yeah, they did something. I don't know the exact figure, but it was something substantial, 15 to 20% stake in the whatever it was, and all the proceeds and everything for all games ever for The Witcher. And he turned it down because he didn't think they were going to do it well.
Yeah,
So he took something I think he took something like $200,000 or something.
Yeah, and then the game fucking exploded, and and then he became super angry, and he never wanted to support the games. And anytime anyone asked him about the games, he would just be like, "Oh, fucking yeah, I'm mad." And obviously, just him being salty because he missed out on a bunch of money. But apparently, Netflix, when they approached him, said, "Here's a lot of money and stuff." So he's fine with the games now. He says good things about them, where he used to shit talk them all the time.
Here we go. So this is the author. The author, Andrzej Sapkowski, said that when CD Projekt approached him about the Witcher video game, which was released in 2008, he dismissed the industry outright. He was quoted as saying, "I was stupid enough to sell them rights to all of my novels. They offered me a percentage of their profits. I said, there will be no profit at all. Give me all of my money right now. The whole amount. It was stupid. I was stupid enough to leave everything in their hands because I didn't believe in their success, but who could foresee their success? I couldn't." This is after this. So this happened before he publicly demanded them to pay him $16 million in royalties.
Yeah, which is hilarious to me. And if I was CD Projekt Red, that's the name of the company.
Yeah, and their response to it was like, "Dude, like, just reach out to us. We'll work something out. Like, we'll give you the money that you want."
Yeah, he seemed like the asshole, not the
absolutely. Company. Yeah, because that's opposite. Because usually it's the company fucking over the person, but this time it's some dumb motherfucker.
Oh, fuck him. Honestly, seriously, like I always held the just like fine. Like that's hilarious to me. Like you really had no faith in that game. But sort of means you don't have any faith in your own, like, your books, too.
Maybe. I don't know. To be fair, there's a lot of book to game, and like movie to games that are absolutely terrible. Yeah. Plus, was Witcher 1 CD Projekt's Red? Like, that was their biggest hit at the time, wasn't it? I don't think they were of...
No, I think they did some other game. Fuck, what was their first game? I can think of another company.
It was really popular, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had one game that was like big back in the day. Anyways, I really like The Witcher. I'm excited to see where they go. I think they did a good job creating a fun world. Excited to see what happens. I don't know. I'm probably thinking of another company.
They made Imperialism, Saints Row 2.
Did they make Saints Row 2?
Yes.
I like Saints Row 2. I played that game a bunch.
Saints Row 2 came out a year after The Witcher did.
Okay. That's weird. Did they make Saints Row 1?
No, and they didn't make 3 either.
They made Saints Row 3.
No, they didn't.
Are you talking about game?
What?
Yeah.
Saints Row
Probably.
the third.
Who made Saints Row 3?
They don't even list Saints Row 2 on CD Projekt Red on their website.
Oh. Maybe they want to distance themselves from it.
Yeah, Saints Row the third is very much a game.
No, we're talking about games that CD Projekt made.
Oh.
They made Saints Row 2. Anyways.
Yes.
So, The Witcher, I don't know. I was really lost in the universe when I got into it. I was so hyped for it. The books are so expensive, though.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, if you want to get like every single thing, it's like $45.
So, yeah, Witcher good, like it, want to see more.
All right, so Witcher's good, My Hero's good. What else, Ryan?
All right, one last thing I must mention because it was so amazing and I loved it so much. But WrestleMania was last night, and I mentioned this very briefly on your stream because I wanted to talk about it fully on the podcast. But so the show itself was all right. All the matches were decent. There were 2 that were good. There was like a 3-way ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And get this. So Miz and Morrison, they hold the Tag Team Championships. Turns out Miz is really sick now. People think that he has the coronavirus. So what they did for the 3-way Tag Team Championships is they had only one person from each tag team fight for it. So you had one guy trying to win 2 belts. It was fucking weird. But it was a really good match. And also Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens had a no disqualification match, and Kevin Owens jumped off like the roof of the Performance Center and landed on Seth
Yeah,
Rollins.
didn't he say like, "How the fuck is this for a WrestleMania?"
Yeah, it was badass. It was super cool. But other than that, so the thing that was super awesome was Undertaker versus AJ Styles. So as you know, they couldn't do WrestleMania in front of a giant crowd. They had to do it in an empty arena where they pre-recorded everything. So with that, you can do a lot of liberties. Or you can take a lot of liberties because, obviously it's fake.
Wrestling's fake. Wait
I
a
know. I'm
minute.
sorry for anyone that's...
Oh my! Well, the kids are ruined.
yeah, sorry for any people that still believe in wrestling.
My God.
So, and Undertaker, he's pretty old. He's not really with it anymore. So his last few matches have been pretty subpar. The only really good ones that he's done have been like tag teams, just because he can team with a young guy like Roman Reigns, and then look like $1 million because the young buck makes him look so much better.
Yeah, I mean it's a carry. Yeah.
Yes. So they were able to pre-record this match for Undertaker versus AJ Styles, and so the entire time AJ Styles has sort of been doing like a shoot interview on him, where they've been breaking the fourth wall and saying things like, Undertaker, he's getting old. He's like, I miss the old days when he was like the dead man, and he's like, not this new version of him. Where it's funny because the Undertaker now has like an Instagram and he posts selfies and stuff, which is really weird. If you ever want to,
because it's the dead man.
Okay,
Yes.
gotta check this.
dude,
I mean, and that's so weird as somebody that's seeing the old kayfabe timeline, whereas this mythical figure, and now he's just like posting shit on like
Yes.
TikTok or whatever.
Yeah, and his name's Mark Calloway. He just posts as Mark. It's just weird. And so AJ Styles has been doing a pseudo shoot interview where he's been calling him out on that. And he's also been mentioning his wife by name because he married Michelle McCool, which is kind of strange. One of the older divas from.
Yeah, didn't he have to get a tattoo of his ex-wife?
Well, yeah, he had a tattoo. His ex-wife, her name was Sarah. He had Sarah tattooed on his neck, and he had to get that covered up when he married Michelle. So Undertaker's been doing a more natural, not so much supernatural promos and stuff, where he's been calling AJ Styles out and being like, "Don't you fucking talk about my wife," And so this made it so that now Undertaker's not the dead man anymore. He's the American badass now.
Yeah.
So, riding the chopper, the headband, coming out to Metallica music as opposed to the
coming out to like Blue on Black.
Well, his initial theme song back when he was the American Badass was a Limp Bizkit song.
Oh no!
Yeah, and people were pretty hyped. They're like, God, I hope he does Limp Bizkit when he comes out. But they did some different Metallica. It was actually a pretty cool song, and his entrance was pretty hyped too. But anyway, so the match was them having a boneyard match. Where it was them fighting in like a graveyard, and the way you win the match is by burying your other opponent alive. And it was in like this really, really deep and wide grave. Like it looks like if someone fell down there, they would really hurt themselves. So yeah, it was badass. So it starts off with Undertaker and AJ just fighting, and AJ sort of beating his ass just because, old man, I'm going to bury you. I'm going to put you out behind the shed. Kind of stuff like that, and
Bambi him.
Yes, he's gonna Bambi him. AJ's like, I'm the next Mr. WrestleMania, and there's some regular fighting going on for a while, a lot of trash talk, which is pretty badass, and finally Undertaker gets after a while he gets the momentum, and he's gonna punch like AJ Styles with like some metal rod, and he punches his hand through a window, and apparently when they were filming he actually cut his arm up really bad.
Shit.
Like it wasn't, but they were like, fuck it, roll with it. And so the entire time he's just got like blood just like pouring down his arm. And so he's like hurt, and AJ's just like beating the shit out of him and stuff. And he throws him into the grave, right? And he's about to bury him. And all of a sudden, freaking Undertaker teleports from inside the grave to behind him and just starts wailing on him. And they're just like, they're kicking the shit out of each other. And Undertaker's like getting the advantage. And then AJ Styles like, I got my boys with me. And he brings his boys, and the boys come and they start wailing on him. And then AJ's like, oh, guess what? I also got these fucking druids that are going to come and beat the shit out of you. Also, these druids come out of the woods and stuff. And they just start wailing on the Undertaker. And they're just like, they're beating the shit out of him, and they're like, no, Undertaker, no. And then all of a sudden Undertaker's like, come on, let's do it. He's like, you ain't gonna put me down. And so he turns around, he starts beating the shit out of all the druids. You know, like how when you see in movies and stuff, and like some guys just beating up a huge crowd because they're all just attacking him one at a time.
Yeah.
It was basically just like that. And then Undertaker proceeds to then murder both of AJ Styles' two buddies. Like, seriously, murder them. They're like, he climbs on top of a building, throws one of them off. It had to have been like a 10-story building. Like, the guy is dead. And then he does one of the most violent tombstones to the other guy I've ever seen in my life. Like, obviously, you know, it was recorded, so they made it look good. But holy shit, this dude's neck had to have just been completely destroyed. And then so finally, it's just AJ left, and he's like, "Oh, please don't bury me! Please don't bury me!" And Undertaker takes out a shovel and just like hits him over the back of the head, throws him into the pit, and he buries him. And you know how like in old action movies, like when the villain would like be dead, but his hand would just be like sticking out at the fucking dirt at the end. That's how they ended it, and it was fucking legendary. One of the greatest things I've ever seen, and I hope if Undertaker does more stuff, he just does shit like this, because it was full of supernatural fucking badass stuff and violence and murder and demonic druids. It was exactly what it needed to be.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, that was my week.
That was Ryan's wrestling corner.
Yes, that was Ryan's
That was a
wrestling.
lot.
And honestly,
I thought they were doing WrestleMania into 2 parts.
they did. The second one's tonight, actually. So after this, I'm going to watch that.
So we don't get to hang out with Ryan tonight, guys.
Well, until after the second part of WrestleMania. But yeah, and actually that probably will be the last of Ryan's Wrestling Corner, because the rumor is they were just trying to get WrestleMania out of the way, and then they're going to stop from here on out. They're going to do like a one Raw and then one more SmackDown, and then they're going to be, because apparently you guys heard about Trump calling all like the CEOs of like the NBA, the NFL,
All the commissioners.
Yeah, all the commissioners. He called Vince McMahon too, and the rumor is he told like all the people that were supposed to be in season right now, like you can't do it.
Damn.
Although supposedly he says the NFL is going to be starting on time, so I guess maybe it's his effort. He probably was just like, sorry for you guys that are supposed to be in season right now, but we gotta get the NFL going at the end of the year, just because it's an American pastime. But
yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's probably Ryan's Wrestling Corner till 2021.
Well, or I mean, you're gonna probably give us an update on part 2 next week, right?
Yes, I will give you on if any. Well, apparently tonight, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, the Firefly Funhouse. So that'll probably be something to talk about.
Well,
I'm excited for that one. Yes.
Hey everyone, Captain Milne here. Hope you guys are enjoying the episode. This is a little bit of an ad break in the middle of it. We're going to try to implement these in the future, and that's kind of what I'm here to talk to you guys about. Whether this is for sponsors or anybody that would like to run an ad on our show. It doesn't have to be a big company. If you have your own YouTube channel, or if you're your own streamer, your own website, or even if you just want to shout out your Twitter, we want to give you guys the space and opportunity to shout that out here on the podcast. We're going to have a Patreon tier with a one-time shout-out tier, as well as a lot of other cool stuff, like having your own custom sound command on the stream, possibly getting some of the YouTube videos from the Brig early, having your name in the credits at the end of some of the videos, and etc. We're striving to create some new stuff there. But yeah, so if you guys want the opportunity, like I said, if you want to shout out your own stuff, or even if you just want to wish somebody happy birthday that enjoys our content, whatever you guys want to use it for, even if you guys want to do an excerpt of fan fiction, I don't really care. I'll read it. But we'll have a character limit on the Patreon when that comes out, patreon.com/Captain Milne. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, any criticism, any feedback, anything that you guys think we could improve on, or that you absolutely hate from what we're doing, honestly, let us know. This is a work in progress. We're new at this, and every single time we make a video, we strive to make something of higher and higher quality. But just a lot of love here from both Captain Milne and our crew, the YouTube, the Brig, and from the Captain's Log here. And we just really appreciate you guys listening and the continued support over the years. We'll get back to the regular programming now. Just appreciate it, everyone. Hope you have a good rest of your day, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. welcome back. Sorry, slight technical issue there, but we are back. We are going to move on to news stories.
Yes, because that is the end of my week.
That is the end of Ryan's week.
I'm sure there's other stuff, but we
right. And I've been streaming and editing. There really hasn't been anything exciting. I want to do a thing where I watch a movie and I kind of give a synopsis and how I felt about it weekly. We'll get there. Not important right now. What is important kind of plays off that a little bit. Did Carol Baskins kill her husband?
I don't know who Carol Baskins is.
Yeah, that's lost on me.
Oh my God!
Yeah, that's a hit and a miss, or swing and a miss. I should say.
Davis, come on now, Davis.
What?
Carol Baskins.
Isn't that Tiger King woman?
Did she kill her husband?
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I bet. I feel. You look at that woman, of course.
Wow, we could see. Okay. First off, the homework for next week is Kaylin and Ryan, you are both going to watch Tiger King.
I know. I've been told a million times to watch it. I probably am going to watch it.
It's so good.
It sounds like a more like Bachelor and Bachelorette.
Absolutely not. Dude, not even.
I just know the main guy has like 6 husbands apparently, and that was enough to reel me in.
Essentially, Kaylin, these 3 different companies, Netflix included, were filming like a documentary and a reality show on different people all involved in the same thing. And then it all just kind of culminated together, and Netflix just kind of reeled everybody in to make one show on it. Because they started this thing a couple years back. And then it kind of went out of hand, and then it's come to a head last year, and it got into the public eye, and they're like, we got to push this thing out the doors.
It's so crazy.
And they did.
So great.
I've heard good things, and someone like I saw a quote was like I fell in love with 2 straight men or something, and that was, or I married 2 straight men. That was.
It's honestly it's a beautiful disaster.
Tommy, I'm
excited to watch it.
I saw somebody got their debit card. You know, you can customize them. Like.
Yeah. Oh no.
He had the Tiger King on it during that scene where he's like, "I'm never going to financially recover from this," and he put it on his card.
Financially recover from this? Absolutely. Yes,
put it on the debit card.
All right, I'll watch it. I will watch it this week, and we can discuss it next weekend.
Yes, it'll be beautiful.
Yeah.
Davis, why don't you tell us what news story that you caught your eye this week?
I've just really been looking. I mean, you know, when it comes to Corona, that's on everyone's mind right now, and I've just been reading these stories of these guys who are trying to, I guess, take economic advantage of the situation and just like hoarding all these supplies and then like
price gouging.
Oh yeah, like a couple of days ago. What's today? The 5th, 6th?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like 4 days ago, the FBI like knocked on this guy's door and confiscated all his stuff because he had, you know, those N95 respirator masks that everyone wants.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had like a million of them.
Yeah. So those. What makes these masks different than just like a cloth over your face is they have the material and the filter part of it blocks particulate, blocks liquid particles, like when someone coughs and it dries into your mask. I mean, that's what'll get you if you go to Publix with a cloth, you know, a contractor's mask or something. If someone coughs on you, that stuff's going to seep in, and you're still going to get it. And hospitals are having a shortage; they're having to ration them. And this guy had like a couple 100,000 of these things, and then double that number in gloves, and then he had like 200,000 surgical masks and a bunch of scrubs and all kinds of stuff, and he was selling them for like 700% increase of price. And
he was doing the what's his name? What's that? What's the memer's name?
Like that guy with the hand sanitizer that's
I got him
with
too.
him.
No, it was God damn it! He went to prison for it. The really snide looking motherfucker.
Oh, the pharmaceutical dude.
Martin.
Shkreli.
Yeah, Martin Shkreli.
Martin Skrillex.
Yeah, Martin Skrillex.
Martin Shkreli.
So this guy,
Fuck that guy
had somehow gotten a hold of all this material that hospitals were just so desperate to have. Because if you're sitting at home, you don't need a dang mask, you know? The only time you need a mask is if you're around these infected patients. And even gloves. a lot of healthcare professionals are saying you don't need gloves. They're a placebo thing. Like these people wear their gloves and they'll use their car keys and they'll use their phone with the gloves on. It's like, well, that defeats the purpose. Just wash your hands, you know?
Yeah.
Right,
And
right.
apparently when the feds showed up, this guy like coughed at him, said he had corona and like did all this other maniac stuff.
Jesus.
And of course they arrested him and he denies all allegations. And it's like, you're screwed,
Wait,
dude.
what did they arrest him for?
There are a bunch of old anti-price gouging and hoarding laws from back in the day to stop something like this. There's a word for it. It's like profit by, I don't know. I can't remember, and I'm not a lawyer. But essentially, if you hoard material for the purpose of price gouging due to a shortage, the feds will knock on your door. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's really
Really?
great.
I
I
did not
mean,
know
yeah,
that.
unless they're Davis, are you using? I don't know if your mic has been interesting.
What's going on?
I don't know if it defaulted back to the original thing. I don't know. You're just popping really bad on some of your P's. It went from the voice mod thing to the Realtek. I don't know if that's the same one.
Let's turn.
Yeah, it's interesting, and some of the I saw that, and some of the comments were even talking about like it's ironic that like nobody's gonna excuse this guy, like he's a dirtbag, right? Like that's a really shitty thing to do, but like at the same time, like like there's private institutions that'll charge up the price of insulin like 1,300%.
Yeah.
And it's like, but that's perfectly legal. Like that's just capitalism. And it's kind of like, is there really a difference except for one's a person and one's a corporation?
Yeah.
Uh,
It depends if you have a legal team behind you or not.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're both dicks.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a bigger fish to fry right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the Corona stuff has been pretty crazy. Like I said, that's going to be in the news. Like there's going to be a couple updates probably on that each week.
Yeah.
Ryan, what story did you find this week, bud?
So two stories that I found interesting were despite Borderlands 3 doing insanely well, the developers are getting stiffed on their bonuses.
I mean, yeah, that's welcome to the gaming industry, man. It's insane. To me, it's
Well,
absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know the gaming industry. I just think maybe Gearbox and like specifically, who's their fucking director? The asshole guy. The guy that got in trouble for the porn on the flash drive at the
There's a lot of guys.
Pritchard, Robert Pritchard or something. He's the same guy that when they were making Borderlands 3. Did you guys hear about the voice actor for Claptrap?
No.
All right. Well, they canned the voice actor for Claptrap, and apparently in Borderlands 3, there's nothing. There's just so many like small references to the voice actor and him being a baby. Like that just shows how much shows how much of an asshole their director is. Like, and the guy who's the voice actor for Claptrap is like a really nice guy and had nothing but good things to say, but the director of Gearbox is just a huge asshole.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So fuck this guy, and like the game is like selling really well, and you're gonna tell the developers, yeah, you're not getting your bonuses. The guy's a fucking cock. Fuck Pritchard, whatever his name is.
Yeah, fuck you, Pritchard. Yeah, it's insane. A lot of people don't realize behind the scenes like how tough of an industry that is to work in, because like people get cut all the time. People get sent to different branches of a company all the time. I mean, imagine having to pick up in like 1 year, pick up and move possibly like 2 times, and like never. I mean, that just sounds awful.
I mean, that's with a lot of companies. It's not just localized in the gaming industry. That's just a lot of
That's fair.
work.
Yeah, that's the problem. Them, I don't know if voice actors ended up getting it. There's a lot of industries like that could benefit very, very much from a union. Because in that case, the company has all the cards.
Yeah, well, actually, the video game voice actors and stuff. I know. Do you ever watch Jim Sterling's videos? He talks about that a lot.
I know they went on a huge strike. They
need to unionize, but there's like laws against it.
America.
Yeah. Oh, and then my other one is GameStop to close at least 320 stores in 2020.
Yeah, that's insane. I don't know if
No
they're
one,
gonna. I don't know if them and Hobby Lobby might actually die from
everyone saw GameStop struggling.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
GameStop saw the writing on the walls. Like, they're not stupid. They know that that shit was coming.
Right.
Apparently, what GameStop is doing now with the stores that are left over is they're going to be turning them into like community gaming centers.
Yeah,
See,
that's
I
gonna
think that's a
work
great
out.
idea, and the fact that they didn't do that to begin with is dumb.
I don't see how that's gonna work
Well,
out. Well,
There's a
I don't
there's
either
a lot
because
of. I
think
don't know.
about every time you go into a GameStop, how fucking small it is.
yeah,
I mean, that's
They're
fair.
so tiny. How are you going to have people coming in playing card games or bringing their laptops, doing like LAN battles and stuff? It doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. Like if they had bigger stores, it would
Right.
kind of make sense. And some of them are bigger. Maybe they're just going to close the small ones. But
Probably.
yeah, I mean they've been relying on their freaking selling pop figures and like used cell phones and laptops and stuff for years now.
so
I mean, they
that's
essentially became the gaming hot topic, essentially.
so that's an interesting topic. This kind of relates with a couple things that we've discussed. Do you think that with the coronavirus and all this stuff that we're going to shift more to an online retailer? I mean, of course, Amazon's huge, and we're pretty well adapted to online realtors and all that stuff. But do you think this is going to be the what can I say, the capstone, the final blow to physical stores and physical? I mean, of course, they won't go away 100%, but it's gonna take a good hit. Is this going to be the final blow to physical stores?
I,
I don't think so.
do you mean like physical stores in general, like do you
First,
mean like video games, like DVDs, Blu-rays? What are you talking about?
yeah, that's a good example. Like movie stores or something like that. Something that's maybe clothing. You could argue that you still need to try on clothing, but stuff that if any of the products are the same, such as like a game store or a DVD store.
Well,
or
yeah,
something
yeah,
like
I
that.
can see stuff like that, but I mean, still, like you still got Walmart and Target that also supply video games and movies and stuff, and which kind of sucks that that might be the only place you can get them, or maybe they'll just get rid of like physical copies of video games altogether,
Yeah.
which would suck.
Which,
Because
honestly, in my opinion, they needed to have done a long time ago.
I
I
mean, yeah,
like it though. I like
I mean,
physical.
okay, but it should
I
be a
do
thing
too.
where, okay, yeah, if you buy a CD, you get a CD. If you want the vinyl, you can buy the vinyl. It should be that kind of a collector's thing.
yeah,
It's
but then they're gonna price
it's a
gouge
niche
it.
thing.
Now all of a sudden it's not $60 for a game; it's like 80 because you have
Yeah.
to pay for the
I
plastic.
mean, yeah, but if the digital sales go down by 15%, can anyone really complain?
I mean, the reality is eventually it's going to get to that. The
Yeah.
DVDs are going to be dead. Blu-rays will be dead.
No, but thinking about that, like clothing stores, obviously are going to stay. You're going to have your
Well,
hobbyist
yeah.
stores, which I mean, again, it's going to be more of a mom and pop thing because I mean, if Hobby Lobby closes, like, what's your next biggest thing? Like, I can't think of another huge craft store like Hobby Lobby. Home
Joanne.
Goods, maybe. Yeah, but that's so. I think you're going to find a lot more mom and pop hobby shops opening in that regard, and or just online. But grocery stores, I could absolutely see. Because think about it. Think of every employee that's working at a Kroger at any given time. Why you could turn every single one of them into a delivery driver? Then you don't have to worry about presentation. You don't have to worry about putting out inventory theoretically.
Yeah, but
You could design.
people care about presentation.
I mean, yeah, but how many people are going to come out of this and not continue getting deliveries on their groceries?
I mean, personally, I'm fine with not. I don't really care if my Roma tomato has a slight brown spot on it or whatever.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
people
think
do
about
care
like how
about that.
many. Think about like how many. Even if 10% of the people stop going grocery shopping and just use like Instacart, I mean that's a lot of money. That's a lot of foot traffic that some of these companies rely on in terms of the.
Yeah,
Oh well,
But
I'm in the store for chicken breasts, but I could always go for some mozzarella bites for the oven, or maybe a frozen pizza sounds
the
good.
grocery store isn't just the grocery store. That's just the end of that chain. You have distribution, you have import, you have a whole bunch of other facilities behind that front facing grocery store. So all that's still going to remain the same. There might be an intermediary in there.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. What if Walmart decides to make a thing where it's their own Instacart, but it's directly from retailers? So all you have is like a UPS delivery dude going around with a refrigerated truck, and he just drops off your groceries or whatever.
Yeah.
I just don't see. I can see GameStop like dying. I just don't see the grocery store dying. I think it's too. I don't see that's something that I can see will always be there. Because I mean, you got the like local, like if you ever go to Chinatown and stuff, you always see people selling like fresh produce and stuff, really weird exotic stuff, and it's like, okay, well,
yeah, that's
kind of how you find that stuff. It's just happening upon it in the aisle.
Yeah, I don't. I can see the death of a lot of other stores, but I don't ever see the grocery store going anywhere. To me, that's going to be there forever. And plus, there's something to be said for just like, oh, I don't have any butter or milk. I can run down the street to the grocery store and grab some.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I mean, if you live in a city like Atlanta, you can have ingredients delivered to you sometimes in 30 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, I think people will pay for that convenience. But
I mean, think about once the drone technology. They're already using drones to deliver packages. If you're in a city, there's zero reason why they can't drop something off on your balcony or your porch.
Yeah, there is a reason. It's cost. It is objectively more expensive. You're paying for that rented robot, or the delivery driver, the 5 minutes of dedicated delivery driver time to go.
Well, I mean, it's going to be as drones improve and become cheaper to maintain and buy, and I mean,
right. And there is an argument to be made that waste is reduced and all that stuff. Blah blah blah.
Right.
But there is still. It's going to.
I mean, there's still going to be 80% to 90% humans, even like in the next 10 years.
Right. What I'm saying is, it's not going to be life changing for the poor, right? Or the people that are paycheck to paycheck, because it is objectively more expensive to do the at home delivery than to get in your car and go to a grocery store.
Yeah.
And to really shop out those deals and whatnot. But for those people that are not paycheck to paycheck, I think at-home delivery of groceries is going to be taking off, especially now.
I think Davis died.
Rip.
I think Davis is definitely dead.
Yeah.
That's that Wi-Fi connection.
Or that Corona,
Or the Rona.
Yeah, it's that 5G. He's on that 5G, dude. It's disrupting everything.
Yeah.
I like the comments when people see. I like the comments when people say like, "Oh my God, people are so dumb," or "How did we get this dumb?" When in reality, humanity has had some bright moments, but it is completely outweighed by the just absolute dumb shit that humanity's done throughout its existence.
Yeah,
it's just more pronounced now.
Your sickness is caused by demons in your blood.
Yeah, and stuff that in the Middle Ages with the Black Plague and whatnot.
Problem solved.
Yeah, there's issues about getting news out and recordship of it and all that stuff. I understand all that, but I bet you there were dumb fucks then as well.
Absolutely, and it was a time where you could be you could be a dumb fuck like peasant living in a field, or I don't know, you could be like the 13th descendant of incest in some monarchy in you smooth brain time where you decide to just blow up half the kingdom that's been in your family's name for 800 years.
Yeah, there's also that pure incompetency. But a lot of this just doesn't make it into the history book, so we never learn about it. After all, the history is written by the victors. The smooth brains just get conquered, and then the other people just say, yeah, I was strategically more adept. I had pikemen, you had horses type of thing.
Yeah. Well, some of that's just the education of the day, too. I mean, can you really necessarily blame the doctors for some of the crazy practices they did? Culture, at the time, society was like, that makes sense. This is the extent of our medical knowledge is, put a leech inside your pee hole. Exactly. And if you don't go scream at that tree for 45 minutes, these demons will not leave your body. Yeah. By the way, send your mother back around the doctor's office later. I need to, I've heard she's having the hysterics. Yeah, great times for sure.
Good times.
Yeah.
Kalen, what were your news stories, bud?
So I got a couple. One I just happened upon us. I was trying to find the other one that I was looking at. So this one's just very quick. About like an hour and a half ago, Nadia, a tiger at the Bronx Zoo, tested positive for coronavirus. So this is the first, I think, case of this virus being, let's say, bats. I don't know if that's true. I just say bats. Mutates, finally moves on to humans, and then it's a human to human. I mean, our dogs aren't getting coronavirus, that sort of
I
stuff.
think there was a dog or a cat that
not.
got it last week. I think there was a dog or a cat that got it last week.
Maybe. I don't know. But this is the first one I've seen where
Yeah.
coronavirus spread to another animal. It jumped species again, which seems
That's terrifying.
yeah, that's like an hour and a half ago or so. Five other tigers and lions at the zoo began showing symptoms of respiratory illness and blah blah blah. That seems quite scary that it's jumping to another species again.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it depends on the species. I mean, think about it. If that was spread to like a monkey or like a prairie dog, kind of situation, they don't know what quarantine is.
Yeah, I was going to get to that. This is where the virus is going to sleep if it can freely jump. And I don't know the biology. I took like 2 classes in biology. I think Davis could talk much more on this, but like it could sleep in this species over here where it can freely spread throughout the canopy in the rainforest, and then it jumps back to humans, and then we're back in the same situation. If we assume that vaccine doesn't take off as quickly as it could, and whatever.
But then, I mean, if it's mutated into animals, he was even saying that this vaccine's going to even be effective if it gets this.
Because then it can mutate. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that one is nice, quick, short one, nice and sweet, if you can call it that. The other one is Trump.
They're red. We're blue.
What's the word I'm trying to nationalizing? Maybe not. So that 3M saying that's of national security issue.
Yeah.
And to no longer export the N95, E8095, whatever the number, the letter in front of that number is, masks. Which, yeah, I guess on the front-facing side seems, okay, that makes sense because we need them. But it's sending a message to the other countries that currently the United States is a net importer of those masks and protective equipment. So if it sends that message to the other countries, say, I don't know, random country, France is currently exporting them, they're going to say, well, what the hell? They're not giving us masks or another respirator or whatever it is. Well, I'm not going to send them any. I feel like it could be dangerous.
I think I think there's something to be said about the fact that I feel like America is still living like it's in like it's 1985.
I feel like it's very much like 1945 isolationism.
Well, and it's a thing where America still feels like it has the mentality of we are the only superpower, or Russia's a superpower, but we're definitely better than Russia. They're calling So it's a thing where it feels like we're still in this mentality of, we could do whatever we want. We'll swing our weight around. When in reality, are we a superpower? Yeah, but like, I feel like we're on the brink of not being one in a lot of regards.
Yeah, military-wise, it's going to be there. But economically, I feel like we're really slipping.
Well, and even look at culturally. Think of all these, and like internationally, it feels like there's a lot more prominent things that aren't just necessarily the United States.
And I feel like the biggest indicator is the university system. Like United States was considered one of the best, but now I don't know if it's just my view, but it seems the university system seems to be going down to where the United States isn't in the. I mean, China's certainly running up the ranks on best universities for mechanical engineering, for civil engineering,
Wash
blah
your
blah
hands.
blah.
Right.
I don't think there's going to be much competition with China for the
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
for those
but yeah,
universities.
that's really shitty, and honestly, it's just like it's another thing of okay, well, this just feels like a bully swinging their weight around when like everyone knows that like he doesn't pack a punch theoretically, like because what it's like we're going to attack a country because of this, and we're not that desperate yet, and hopefully we don't get to that point where countries are like fighting
What?
each other for resources. But I don't think it's going to come to that.
We're
That's
going
a
to fight
very
for
You
water
need to
pretty
take a shower,
soon.
my
Here.
man.
I mean, yeah. We'll just get it back from Nestle.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, yeah, it's scary. It's a weird
is.
time out there.
It is. It really
That's
is.
why you should stay safe. And you can all, there's a really magical place that you can go to feel safe, and that's at twitch.tv/Captain Milne. I think that's gonna about wrap it up. If you like the banter, if you like us chilling and just talking, again, twitch.tv/Captain Milne is usually where we hang
I'm
out.
not laughing.
Not all of us, not all the time, but
Yeah.
and then there's the
Wow.
YouTube channel,
All
the
right.
Brig. Would anyone
All
else
right.
like to plug anything?
First and last podcast for me.
That's a negative, Captain.
Yeah,
can't wash your hands.
damn hands. Stay inside.
Wash your hands, and we'll see you guys on the
Wash
next
your hands and
episode.
penis.
Yeah, wash specifically your penis, then your hands, not your hands, then your penis.
Whichever order you want.
Well, assuming both would be clean afterwards, so
You think that?
And then also behind the ears. People forget about that, but it's important.
yeah,
A lot of
Yeah.
gum gets back there.
it's a bad place.
Yeah.
Don't sniff your finger after scratching behind your ear. That's for sure.
It'll smell
Oh,
terrible. Like we're like rancid. Like a dying animal.
Ryan, what's going on with your ears?
Sometimes I sleep on the wrong side, and then the rats they crawl up into my hair. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what quarantine does to you. Haven't showered. Howard. I'm not going to finish that.
Showered Howard. We heard it here first.
yeah,
But, so we'll catch you guys on the next episode of the Captain's Log. And
absolutely.
I hope this wasn't terrible. See you guys on the next one. What, Kayla? Go ahead.
I'm laughing at your comments.
Oh,
I was laughing at your comment.
Oh, that's good.
And Davis.
Fuck you, Davis. Fuck Ancient of Days. Put it in the comment section. See you guys later.
All right, now play the Star Wars music.
Big shout out to our Patreon supporters KLSK1, Garrison Coley, TrueX23, and Ziggy Storm. Thank you guys.